So this is the one where Kevin remembers where the actual camera is, which is down here. In my defense, there is a ring light camera like right above there, and streaming twice on the weekend, that like I just have this Pavlovian response now that that's the camera that I stare into when I talk, even when things aren't working properly. But that's not why we're here. We're here because, well, what am I doing today? Yesterday, I made good progress. I found that breaking things down into discrete steps on the Trello board really helped. Just in terms of being able to track the things that I know I should be doing with each piece of functionality and being able to flick the card when it's done on an individual step. For those of you who are serious game developers, it might seem really silly for the small prototypes that I'm doing, but I find that it really helped. And it meant that there were much fewer errors, unexpected errors from functionality not working at a step that hadn't been thoroughly tested or just checked out. So that really helped. I'll put the link for the Trello board. It's a public Trello board. I'll put that down in the notes for this video. And for those of you who've got no goddamn idea what Trello is, and thank you to everyone who's been saying that they've been checking out the videos as well. I really appreciate that. It's lovely to know that even if I'm speaking complete gobbledygook, that you're getting something out of them. What's a Trello board? It's basically like a series of post-its saying we're going to do this. You just write like a simple text description of here's the thing I want to do. So all of that being said, what am I working on today? I'm working on the big thing today, well, what I see as the big thing, which is the combat tick, which is all about having things update in some meaningful way so that then the world does something back, that there's some sort of response to your actions. So that means you fire at the enemy that you have, your enemy can then fire back. Last night I put some implementation together around figuring out like enemy disposition, like what's their attitude. And so if their ship's on fire and it's all but falling apart, they feel pretty stressed. So I'm pretty excited about what that's going to enable. Just some really simple like simulation of like some sort of intelligence there. So if you knock out their engines, then one of the things I want to put together today as part of like their response to you is they'll just open up a communication channel and try and surrender and be like, hey, it's all good, because they're a sitting duck. So yeah, so the combat tick is all about having things progress over time. And I mentioned a little bit about this last week, but there was a really good point that was brought up by Ashton McCallum, which is about time dilation. And so when you think about it, even in the fantasy, like going back to the fantasy of what it is that I'm doing, you have on a ship's bridge. There we go. On a ship's bridge, you have these back and forth orders between your captain and the crew. And I'll go back and forth, but there are these significant moments where things happen. And so it's all about when those things happen, then the world responds and does stuff back as well. And I'm really excited about what that's going to do. So that's today's major work. I've got a voiceover workout at 11 p.m. tonight, which is the weekly workout that I do when we're all available. I've got a couple of amazing colleagues in the US that I work with. And so when we're all available and we're all up for it, we're doing it. And it looks like tonight is going ahead, which is awesome. Other than that, nothing. Not leaving the house today, which is really good for mindset. I find the days where I do have to leave the house are the ones where that just takes capacity away from me. And I'll be continuing to read through Art of Game Design, which I got through my chunk of that for yesterday. It takes some time, but it's rewarding reading every time. So I'll be doing that probably this afternoon. Oh, and as a special treat to myself, I'm going to actually publish some VODs from some Mass Effect streaming that I'm doing with an amazing colleague by the name of Colin Smith. And I'm finally going to get around to actually publishing some of those videos so that folks can catch up with what we're doing. Because we're playing through this amazing, like, huge series, which has this wonderful narrative, and you run into characters. But anyway, that's by the by. So yeah, I'm just going to put some time down for something for myself as well. I hope you're safe and you're well, and you've got a wonderful day ahead for you too. See you tomorrow.